All right, so we're diving deep into Guyana's 2025 budget.
Oh, exciting.
It is, especially because, election season, everything's kind of heated.
Right.
Everyone's making these big promises.
Yeah.
But we want to cut through all that noise, figure out what this budget really means, for the people.
Absolutely. Get down to the nitty-gritty.
And we're going to be focusing on a critique by opposition MP David Patterson.
Okay.
He's got some strong opinions, especially about how the government's handling, all that oil money.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah.
Huge. So think of this as our attempt to really understand what's going on beneath the surface.
I like it, like peeling back the layers of the onion.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, Patterson zeroed in on a few things that honestly made me kind of nervous.
Yeah. Like what?
We're talking about how they're managing or maybe mismanaging the whole oil and gas sector.
Right, because that's the golden goose right now.
Exactly. And then there's all these massive infrastructure projects popping up everywhere.
Yeah, you see them all over.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, are they doing it right? Are they spending our money wisely?
Those are the questions that need to be asked.
Exactly. And that's what Patterson is trying to do.
Good for him.
So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
One project that Patterson really went after was the Amela Falls Hydro Project.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that one.
So the current government, the PPP, they're saying, oh, this is going to be amazing. It was a great idea. And the previous administration, the APNU plus AFC, totally messed it up.
Trying to rewrite history a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. So we got to ask, is that really what happened?
Well, Amela Falls is a perfect example of why we have to scrutinize these big projects really carefully.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not talking about going a little over budget here. This is serious stuff.
Yeah.
The Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB, they actually took a look at this project and they gave it the second lowest risk rating in their entire history.
Second lowest.
You heard that right?
Wow. That's got to be bad.
It is. It's basically saying this project was so risky, it could have destroyed Guyana's economy.
Well, wow.
Billions of dollars wasted, years of economic hardship, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so this wasn't just we might spend a bit more than we planned.
Yep.
This was bet the entire farm kind of risk.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder if the same thing's happening with other projects,
Right. And Patterson brings up the Wales Gas to Shore project.
Okay, yeah.
The cost has already, get this, ballooned by 200%.
200%. Yikes.
And they keep saying electricity prices are going to stay low.
With all that extra spending, doesn't sound very likely.
Doesn't add up.
Right. Makes you scratch your head.
Absolutely. And Patterson's really going after GPL, Guyana Power and Light.
Yeah, what's going on there?
He's accusing the PPP of actually creating a crisis at GPL.
Whoa, that's a heavy accusation.
Yeah, so they can spend a ton of money on these quote-unquote emergency solutions.
That's, not unheard of in politics.
Right. Manufacture a problem and then swoop in like the hero.
The savior.
Yeah, but who's really benefiting from that?
Good question. Not the average person, that's for sure.
Exactly. And it's even crazier?
Tell me.
Remember those power ships?
Oh, yeah.
GPL decided they were way too expensive back in 2018.
Right.
But then the PPP comes into power and wins. Not one, but two of them.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And Patterson claims it was all done under really shady circumstances.
Shady.
Well, he doesn't go into specifics, but the subsidies GPL needs, they've gone through the roof.
Compared to before.
Yeah. Under the previous administration, they weren't getting any subsidies at all.
Interesting.
They even started paying off loans.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Huge.
Yeah.
So where is all this extra money going?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
It's a real head-scratcher.
Transparency is key, especially when we're talking about public funds.
Right. People deserve to know where their money's going and why.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
And it's not just like the power ships.
Yeah.
It feels like there's this pattern of big promises, but nothing really to show for it.
Right. Lots of talk, but where's the action?
Exactly.
Yes.
And Patterson, he went on this whole thing about the public sector investment program.
Okay, the PSIP.
Yeah, basically it's their giant to-do list.
Oh, so all the projects they want to do.
Yeah, but the problem is it keeps getting bigger and bigger, but are they actually finishing anything?
Right, because a to-do list is only good if you're actually checking things off.
Exactly. He brought up so many examples, like the Demerara Harbor Bridge.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Huge. And then all these road projects connecting different parts of the country.
Important for development, for sure.
Right. And then the Cato Hydropower Project.
Yeah.
Airstrips. It was like this never-ending list of things that are still, half finished or not even started.
Some of these have been going on for years, haven't they?
Yeah, some of these projects are from like 2022, 2023 even.
So what's the holdup?
That's what we're trying to figure out. It's like they're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Without a real plan, huh?
It seems like it. And you know what Patterson said?
Right.
He joked that the Ministry of Public Works should be renamed the Ministry of Incomplete Projects.
Ouch. But kind of true, though, right?
It is. It's funny. But it also highlights this real concern about whether they can actually deliver.
Right. Maybe they need to focus on doing a few things well instead of trying to do everything at once.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
Exactly.
And it's not just about bridges and roads, you know.
Right.
Patterson's also concerned about the electricity situation.
Oh, yeah. What's happening with that?
Well, he's accusing the government of kind of letting things fall apart at GPL.
Deliberately.
Yeah, so they can come in with these, expensive emergency solutions.
It's a classic political tactic. Create a problem, then present yourself as the only one who can fix it.
Yeah, and it's the average person who ends up paying the price.
In the end, it's always the people who suffer.
It's frustrating. And he keeps coming back to those power ships.
What about them?
He can't get over it. GPL knew they were a bad deal years ago.
Right, they rejected them.
And now they're back, costing a fortune in rent and subsidies.
It's fishy, that's for sure.
And nobody's explaining where all this money is going.
Yeah, and that lack of transparency, it just breeds suspicion.
It does.
People start wondering, what are they hiding?
Exactly. All right, let's talk about the big one.
The oil money.
The oil money. The elephant in the room.
Everyone wants a piece of that pie.
This should be a blessing for Guyana, right?
You would think so.
But this is where Patterson's critique gets really intense.
Really?
He's basically saying the government is acting like, a kid in a candy store.
Just spending it all willy-nilly.
Yeah. No plan, no thought for the future.
That's a dangerous game to play.
It is. And it's something we've seen happen in other countries too, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a classic tale. Sudden wealth, no discipline, and then boom, it's all gone.
And they're left with nothing.
Right. And that's why you need, a sovereign wealth fund.
Exactly. It's like a national savings account.
To protect the money for future generations.
Exactly. But Patterson says the government is dragging their feet on setting one up.
Really? They're not even taking that basic step?
Apparently not. And they're being really secretive about how they're managing the money right now.
That's a huge red flag, a sovereign wealth fund. That's like economics 101 for a situation like this.
It is. It's not just about saving for a rainy day. It's about investing in education, healthcare, the things that make a country truly prosperous.
Exactly, building a future.
But Patterson says they're just spending on whatever shiny new project catches their eye.
Without a plan, just like those incomplete projects.
It's the same pattern. And he keeps bringing up the lack of audits on oil revenues.
Oh, so we don't even know if they're being honest about how much money they have.
It seems like it. And then there's the delay in setting up a petroleum commission.
Which would oversee the whole industry, make sure things are being done properly.
Right, but that's still not happening.
And what about the Local Content Act? That was supposed to benefit Guyanese businesses.
He said they haven't fixed the loopholes.
So foreign companies are still getting the lion's share.
Seems like it's like they're not even trying to make sure Guyanese people benefit from their own resources.
That's a problem, a big one.
It's kind of scary, honestly.
It is. Guyana's at this crossroads.
Yeah.
This huge opportunity, but they got to handle it right.
They do. How do they make sure this oil wealth benefits everyone?
The million-dollar question?
It is.
And the whole world's watching.
Really?
Yeah, what happens in Guyana, it could be an example for other developing countries.
A good example or a bad example.
Exactly.
Makes you think about what's really important.
Yeah.
It's not just about how fast the economy grows.
Right.
It's about building a society that's fair, that's sustainable.
For the long haul.
Exactly. And I think that's what Patterson's getting at,
Yeah, he's saying the current government is missing the big picture.
They are. It's all about these flashy projects, quick wins.
Short-term thinking.
But what about the consequences down the line? What about the people who get left behind?
He is raising some serious concerns.
He is, but it's also a wake-up call.
A call to action.
Yeah, he's saying the people of Guyana, they have a choice.
They do.
They could demand transparency, hold their leaders accountable.
Fight for a better future.
Exactly. Push for development that benefits everyone, not just a few.
It's their country, their future.
So what can people do? If they're worried about all this, how can they actually make a difference?
Well, first things first, they got to stay informed.
Okay, yeah.
Don't just listen to the politicians.
Right.
dig deeper, read reports, talk to experts, ask questions.
Do your own research.
Exactly. The more you understand, the better decisions you can make.
And that's what we're all about, right?
That's right.
These deep dives, it's about giving people the information they need.
To be informed citizens?
Yeah, to think critically, to engage in these conversations.
Because these issues, they affect everyone.
They do. And it's not enough to just be informed, right?
Yeah, you've got to get involved.
Okay.
Join community groups, write to your elected officials.
Make your voice heard.
Exactly. Support organizations fighting for transparency, accountability.
Put pressure on the people in power.
Every voice matters. Collective action, that's how you create change.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Guyana's 2025 budget, I think the biggest takeaway is don't be complacent.
Yeah.
Don't just accept things at face value.
Question everything.
Ask questions, demand better. Remember, the future of Guyana, it's in your hands.
Well said. It's a pivotal moment for them.
It is.
The choices they make now, they're going to shape their destiny for generations to come.
No pressure.
Right. Let's hope they choose wisely.
I hope so too. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope you found it informative and, more importantly, that it inspires you to, think critically about the world around you.
Stay curious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Until next time.